What's up, man? Good morning. AA, good to see you. ISO wavy. In search of waviness? In search of waves? ISO wavy? Is that what your name? In search of, are you a surfer? In search of waviness. Alright. Let's see if I can get the camera going here. This time. I figured it out why it was so zoomed in last time. Alright. So I had the freaking damn thing. Alright. You need to wee. What do I think will happen after Trump speaks? I don't know, dude. To gold? Seems like kind of a random thing I wouldn't know. You guys know I don't know shit about fundamentals. Hell, I barely even know how to trade. Man, you Swiss. Craziness. From the town of Bedrock. Just changing the settings on my camera here. Let's get this set up. Alright. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Okay. Do you think they'll give him a monetization strike if I sing? Or is it only, do they need the beat? Alright. We're about to start off here. It's a great day. It's a great day to leave the city. Go camping. What's up, Slot Muffin? Good to see you. Hopefully the stream's not lagging too much. I'm video. So hopefully, I don't know, the rendering's taking forever. Let's turn this on. Boom. Oh, I got the camera on that one. Let's put it on this one. Right, awesome. See if it's a bit laggy, isn't it? Don't sing. Someone will sue you for a random chorus. Yeah. So it's a little bit laggy, and it's telling me that this frames are being dropped. But that's just because I'm still rendering, and I just wanted to get the stream started before the day got too late here. No, we weren't gonna miss it. I got a couple hours. Girlfriend's still getting her hair done, and then I'm gonna go pick her up, and then we're gonna get going. I'm looking at you Swiss right now, guys. Yeah, there's some lag, eh? Crap. It's because I'm still rendering this thing. Go for like an hour now because I'm trying to put the better quality. Alright. What's up with this? Yeah, I think you guys are gonna have to deal with the lag for now because I'm not gonna. I can't cancel that. I wonder if I can just put it on like. Here, I'll put the stream on higher priority maybe, or I'll put this on low priority. Where is it? This one. Where's it? Did they remove the priority? I swear there used to be a priority thing here. Am I tripping? Must be tripping. Alright, so just actually got stopped out on this one. Okay, so what were we doing here? This was actually going to be a great swing trade setup, so that's why I kind of looked to enter it for a longer position. Originally, the position here was simply I saw these previous highs here in the London session, and I figured on this retrace, the New York Open, it would be very likely that we saw a sweep and then a dump back down into the major trend of the week, right? Go to details tab. Okay, let's try that. Details. Set priority. Low. Okay, sweet. Alright, cool. Maybe that'll help us. Yeah, that just dropped it right away to the... It just dropped it like 55 or something, didn't it? Maybe that helps us. Awesome. Thanks, man. Cool. So we were watching this, and this is the better setup than EU. EU we were kind of looking at too, but it's not a good setup. And I was gonna take it, and I think I took it, and then I just quickly exited after it started to show some signs of weakness. So this was just barely any profit, but we were basically the difference between these two. Let me explain a bit better. I'm not explaining super well. So on U-Swiss, we obviously saw that there was a rally back up, and then we saw the sweeps of these highs and then closure back within. If we look at the lower time frame, this is why I showed you guys in the Discord. I messaged you guys in the Discord saying that I was waiting for the 1 minute to change the trend. So all I waited for was the break back down below this range, and then I entered right here. Below that level right there. And then once it broke back in, then we entered and we took profit here and here. And then originally I was just targeting the lows, but I took, I think, like 80% off at the lows, and then I left the rest to run, and then it got stopped out just now when I started the stream. Basically, this is kind of a wacky thing, and it's unexpected because this dump was so hard that I wouldn't have expected it to come all the way back up like that, but that's fine. We got out 80% of our position at, 2 hour-ish. We probably averaged about 2 hours, somewhere in there. This was like 0.25 hour or something like that. It was nothing. I just exited it basically right around here after it started chopping up. All right, cool. So what else? That was basically all I did today. Oh, it's much better now. Great, awesome. Can you give us a tour of your house? Man, you guys seen my house? It's basically just the downstairs here. There's a small loft for the office. There's a small bedroom. You can you see the plants? My girlfriend just put some plants in back there. Let's see if I can. Can you see the plants back there? How does it focus? How do I change the focus? One sec. We got some plants back there now too. Oh man, I'm getting good at camera work. Look at that. Okay. Now we gotta fix that shit. Oh, maybe I should have made it full screen so you guys could see the full screen. Give me a second here. Sweet. Awesome. Tour of your girlfriend. Yeah. Hunter, yeah, I'm in Vancouver. Yeah, I'm right on Kitts Beach. We live like right by all the big like mansions on the water, where these places are super cool to look at. Some of them look like they're like prisons because they're like so locked down from like security. These houses are like 20-30 million, and they're pretty cool to see. They're not mansions. Maybe like the cheapest ones would be like 10 million or something. I'm gonna hire you for camera work. Yeah, of course, man. All right, what pairs do we want to look at here? What pairs should we look at? Let's look at EG. I like looking at EG. This was going right to where I said. Remember this one here? I think I sent this in the Discord. We saw these previous lows here. Let me just put this on the 15. So we saw these previous lows here, and I really wanted to get that low swept, right? Boom, boom, boom. We got 3 touches of the level, so I figured it would come back down, target that, and then we would rally up and then touch this level here. What was that level? That was that magnet that we were talking about a while back that we really wanted to come back. It's a broken base there. And then here's the supply zone, as you guys can see, right? So that's the actual base part, and then this is the supply zone. And then we just came into the supply zone, and now I would expect fully that this would be a complete change of trend. Look at this. That's not strong enough. I would expect this to come up for another wick up. I would expect that to come up for another wick up before we come down. That's my guess, guys. But this is going to be next week, so we'll kind of talk a little bit about next week. Oh man, I asked you guys what pairs to look at, and you guys sent me a ton, didn't you? Alright. let's look at UCAD. I like to look at the bigger ones first when people kind of recommend them. There's nothing. Okay, so now that we've broken this range, there's nothing over here that I would say is a major level that we would really like to get a reversal on, other than this gap, right? So I figure we're going to come all the way back down to this gap before coming back up, right? That's my guess. So what do we do here is we're basically just going to be looking for shorts next week on this pair. We're going to look for this range tops, right? We can see sweeps happening there. It's actually wicking past the top right now. Funny enough, you might be able to get a short here today. You might even be able to get a short here today if we start breaking back below. This is actually consolidation right here. That might be a decent... Hey, get out. Oh man. I had to move that pot back there with the plant because we're going away there. I had to hide it away, and they're still freaking digging in the dirt. That's gonna be freaking annoying, isn't it? Okay, so other things we can look for. I might actually wait for it to come higher. That doesn't look super promising to me yet as for a sweep. Where can we look for? I would look for this level here, maybe. See how it reacts off of that level. And then there's a couple more, right? I would just watch for the 15-minute levels. It could come all the way back up here even too, right? But essentially, we're just going to be waiting for the trend to change back to the downside, right? Somewhere in here, we're going to look for a short, and we're going to be able to ride that short all the way back down to these lows. And we're just going to keep taking more and more lows. MK, you don't ask those questions, dude. Put some rocks in the pot. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to put some rocks in there after like the plant is actually, because he's already digging. What do you think about No Nonsense Forex? Yeah, he's good. He's one of the few indicator traders that like that I think highly of. I think a lot of indicator traders, when they're like completely dependent on indicators, they're kind of doing something wrong. But he seems to know what he's doing. Alright, let's look at, what did someone say? I think we already looked at EU, guys. You want to look at gold? We'll look at gold. I don't know shit about gold, man. Every single time. So I remember we were up in an uptrend here. Nothing's popping out right now. In my opinion, nothing's like really popping out. To continue this downtrend, I'm gonna want to see a clean sweep of these highs here, right? A clean level to be broken back up there. Let's see if it matches anything. There's no good levels. Actually, we could come all the way back up to here. I would like that. So you guys can see the cats in the background there, can't you? Fucking assholes. He's just staring at the dirt. He's just staring at it. Alright. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Oh man. You're like the biggest fucking assholes. Okay. Yeah, there's honestly no levels that are really standing out. I would wait until we're seeing these lows be eaten up. That's my opinion. These lows to be eaten up. Or if something prints, like we could see a move above this level and then close back below, something like that. That would be strong for the short side. Look, I'm just looking about next week. I'm not talking about today. Today you just obviously long it if you get a chance. I'm not gonna look at NOK because I don't know what currency NOK even is. I don't know. Wait, what is it? Euro NOK. Norwegian. Like every time someone tells me to look at something like this, all it is a trend. And all you do is you just buy the trend, sell the trend, whatever. So just downtrend. There's nothing else to do, man. The only problem with trading these is that you're gonna have crazy spreads, so I would never trade them. That's why they just trend. Right. How do you make the you hold shift. How do you make the trend lines stay horizontal? So you draw it and then you click shift. And then it does that, right? Alright, let's look at EJ. Look at EJ. Look at those 2017 lows. That's where it swept off of that, or that's where it bounced off of, right? That's pretty sweet. Look at EJ here. What is this thing? I don't like that. Yeah, so EJ's still in a downtrend on the major time frame. Naturally, we'd like to get in. Oh, this looks good right here. I like this. I like this move right here. Do you guys see this? It's still untested. And then look at this. You got two tops. Gonna be some stop orders right here, aren't there? There's gonna be some stops right there, right? I think we're gonna come up, tap that, and then down. That's my guess. We already look at EU, dude. EU's going up, ain't it? I called where it was gonna go to, right? I called this freaking months ago. I told you guys that it was going to come up here eventually before it breaks down this low, right? So before it broke below there, it was gonna come up here. Told you guys that like in April. And it's about to hit it. So it's gonna go a little higher. It's gonna hit it, it's gonna go into the supply, and then it's gonna come down. I gotta get rid of these yellow lines. These yellow lines are nothing. I was teaching someone something. Ignore those. I'm using the click like strategy, and it's 10,000% win rate every time. Yeah, you hit the click like button, And it increases your win rate by 1. But I haven't made 10,000 videos, so I don't know how you have 10,000%. So that's pretty good. You must have had like 9,550% already, and then you got the extra 50% from me. What's the first few things you look at in a graph to determine if it has potential or not? So it depends on what style of trader you are. So if you're a range-based trader, then obviously you're going to be looking for ranges, and you're going to be looking for like wicks above the range, closures back within, stuff like that, so that you can confirm that the range is going to be bouncing back and forth, right? So you see the lows, you see the wicks, you see the wicks, you see the high, right? Close, and then it reaches the other side of the range. Things like that, right? Here's another example, kind of, you see a wick above there, it comes back down, retest there, right? Most likely, if you want a bigger range here, here's the range highs. We might see a wick above here, and then it closes within, and then it comes back, right? You know, there's range-based everything. Let's put weekly, maybe. The weekly kind of shit doesn't prove my point. Maybe on here. Range high, right? Come back, break above, and then close back in. That's like how range-based trading would work. But if you're a trend-based trader, then obviously you just want to look for a trend, right? And then you want to look for untested levels. Well, first of all, the very first thing, if you want to do a very top-down analysis, right, is mark out some levels on the weekly and the daily, right? So you'll look to see, you know, different levels, like here on EG, I'm looking for it to come all the way back down here because I saw that it wicked above on the weekly level. So I know on the long-term time frame, it's going to come back down to that level right here, right? Because that's where it broke out from. It's got to retest it before it comes back up, right? On the lower time frame, we can see, let's go 4 hour, you can see untested levels. So untested levels, you mark those out, right? So here's the untested area of supply. So we knew that once it started rallying towards that direction, that's most likely where it's going to hit. And then we watch to see what actually happens there finally, right? So after you have all your levels marked out, another thing you can look for is triple, double bottoms, things like this. That's going to act as a magnet because it's liquidity that a lot of stops there, right? Highs and lows are targets, things like this. Here's a multiple touched top that got wicked above and then closed back within. That would have been wrong if you tried to range trade that, but it's still a decent trade. Yeah. GU. I also was looking for GU to come up here, guys. We called this one too. It should come up for another little pump. It could come down, fake everyone else out, think that it's going to make everyone else might think that this was just a front run, but I think it's going to come up again. It might fake people out and come back down here, making them think that it's going to go down. What are my thoughts on GJ? Okay, sure, yeah, one sec. GJ. Also, second question, in your swing trading video, you mentioned making 10%, but you don't elaborate further. Yeah, I don't really remember the video too well, man. Oh, this is good, dude. This is really good. Probably 10% a month. Probably. What's up, Emmanuel? Let's look at NZD JPY after this too, sure. Guys, don't ask me to look at pairs that, like, I have no idea what the frickin' currency is. BRL looks like it's a short form for Bradley or something. All right. Look at this. This is a gap right here. You see that gap? This is gonna come down, ain't it? This is gonna come down. These are highs being swept, closing back within. Let's just look at the 5 minute and see how the 5 minute's going. Yeah. A little bit of resistance on the actual level, but then it just went for one little quick more, get the stops out, and then we're dumping hard back down. This would be a decent longer term play for sure. Oh yeah, and we wanted to come back. I remember we didn't quite hit the level I was interested in earlier. Okay. Maybe going into the next week we can look for a trade like this. If you guys want to play a swing trade. Something like that. Go to that blue maybe. Pull this down. I think most likely you just put it at the top. At the top rather. There's a 7-hour trade. Right? Or you can even just target the lows here. Now mind you, where's your take profits? Take profits probably here. There's a bunch of areas you can watch out for. Here. Pick and choose, basically. There's a bunch of areas. Pick and choose which ones fit with you. Right? Ooh. Can we have more drawings? Well, I'm drawing like a sheet of paper on this one. This is kind of like a sheet of paper. Draw my three-hole punch paper. The thing is, you guys just don't know. I'm drawing all the time, aren't I? Alright, three-hole punch pattern. Alright, I'll coin this the three-hole punch pattern. Yeah, that's good. Let's pull it down. Alright. That's what we do. You put your stop on the top of the paper, and you take your profits at the three-hole punches. There you go. Three-hole punch pattern. Let's just center them off here. Yeah, take your profits at the hole punches. All right, cool. That's a low effort sheet of paper. Dude, I think you're new here. How's FTMO going? I'm just I'm gonna upload the video before I head out. This week, well, today was good. I didn't sleep last night, so I woke up at New York Open. I woke up at like 4:30 instead of midnight, because I fell asleep at like midnight last night. So I missed London session. But we got, I'm uploading the video after, and we got this one. We got this. We got like a 2-hour today. So next week we're gonna knock it out of the park. We're a few percent up. This week was basically flat for me. There wasn't really anything. It was just a slight profit. You guys will see the exact number. And yeah, we got one more week and then a couple days in the following week. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't expect to hit 10%. I was never expecting to hit 10%. I just want to get it as high as possible, and then I'm gonna risk everything at the very last 2 days and see if I can make it to the 10%, just by going. I'll risk like 2% per trade or something like that, because yeah, if so, like for example, if I'm at like 8% at the end and I only need two more percent, then I'm willing to lose 7%, just fucking around, because there's no difference between getting 1% and getting 9%. It's the exact same thing. You just get a free redo. So I'm just gonna fuck around at the end and see how high we can get it if we can. What time is it? It's 8. It's 8:30. Should look for more dinosaur setups. Yeah, dude. This is annoying, isn't it? That's kind of annoying. I think it'll come back up now, though. Let's get G-Swiss. This is a good one. Here's a good one, guys. Target these range lows. You saw sweeps of these highs, right? Retests of this supply. Previous high. Previous high getting eaten. Lows being broken. Might come back up and you might be able to get an entry on that retest there. Oh, yeah, NZDJPY. Sure, I forgot. I always forget, man. I get distracted. Oh, we looked at this yesterday, maybe? I wanted to get in on a pump. Because what did I tell you guys? It gap filled, but it didn't quite hit the actual supply that I was looking for on the 4 hour. So maybe next week, I think it could consolidate here. Kind of trick people out, like who Trini wants to short here, right? There is a gap at 7.1. Oh, even higher? 7.1892. Oh yeah, totally. Up here, right? Yeah. I mean, that gap is super far. And just because there's a gap doesn't mean it's going to go there right away. But once we get to a point where we'd be interested, that's going to be the target for sure. The thing is, we're not interested yet. The only reason that we were interested in that gap is because of the rally off of this base, right? The break back up and the consolidation, we knew that it was going to come up and fill that gap eventually. Now the next level is obviously going to be here, if we do break above the gap, right? And then if we break above this, then I can guarantee it'll fill that gap because you have these levels that clearly it will have stops behind them, right? Makes sense? Yes. Yes, it makes sense. Yes, Hunter, it makes sense. Okay, I think we'll come up for another one some point next week. That's my guess, guys. I don't think it's ready to dump yet, because it still needs to meet that. You're sweeping the lows here, rallying back up. I think this is just a retrace back to this zone, and then it'll come up. Which days do I never trade on? Saturday, Sunday? No, actually Sunday my time I sometimes trade, but not usually. But Saturday is the day I never trade on. Something moving behind me. It's a ghost, man. It's an old apartment. It's haunted. Oh man. Do you see him? He's so cute. Wait, let me see if I can zoom in here. Let's put this on here. Let's do this. Do you see him? He's just staring in the pot. Georgie. Oh my god. Georgie! Hi! Why won't it focus, man? Focus on him. There. Oh, dude. He's like a little boy, where he's super destructive. Oh, I think he's looking at me now. He is. He's staring at me now that I'm talking about him. Oops. He's like a little boy. He's like super destructive, but he's like super cuddly. And like he does these like cute things. I've been trying swing trading strategy with replay mode, but I suck at it. Do you have any tips for improving? Oh, like the swing trading one I talked about, where it was just like, basically the logic behind that is you're looking for major points that banks have resting orders, right? So where do you see resting orders? You look at the higher time frame and you look for highs and lows. And the best advice I would say is take fewer trades. Here's the high of the range, right? Here's the low. If you're doing it in between the range, anywhere in here, you're doing it wrong. So that's why you have to look at all of the pairs, right? So let's look at EG. Look, you make one range. Put it the 4 hour, or the daily is even better. The daily is even better. Put one range. That's where it's going to bounce off of, right? It's going to just sweep and then bounce. Right. Let's look at EU. EU. So I like the 4 hour better. Zoom out all the way. This is the only level you can buy. Oh man. This is the only level that you can buy and sell. Anything in between, you're doing it wrong. Because new orders would have been added to here. We're looking with that swing trade strategy. That's a strategy that's going to take you months to fill an order. It's going to take a month to get to the point, and it's going to take a month to finish the trade. So that's why you have to look at everything. And the logic is that you're waiting for these massive, massive players that have billions, that they put their orders in a year ago. Right? They put those orders in a year ago, maybe back here, and they said, okay, now we want to put all of our sells up here, right? So maybe they put it in 2018 or something, right? They said, okay, we want to put in all our cells up here because we saw that area was a good area. So they put all of their cells there, right? And then it dumps back down, takes them a couple years, and then it comes back up. Same idea here, right? These guys, maybe they put those orders in back here. No. Back here they put it in 2015, and then it took 2 years for it to show up to that price again, right? That's the logic. If you're putting it in between the ranges, these are all people who have been putting those orders down this year. There's not enough money being placed this year for it to move the price consistently, right? Do I trade the same range several times? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a range trader. Not really. I'm more of a trend trader, but then I have a reversal. Like I know when the trend is over, essentially. Did you study technical analysis online? Yeah. I didn't go to university for this, dude. There's no freaking university for trading. How long does it take you to be a millionaire with Forex? Depends if you're already a millionaire or not. Dude, these questions are like, it's like a ridiculous question. How much money do you have? Thanks again for everything you're doing. No worries, dude. It's kind of fun. It's kind of passing the time. I think we're going to wrap up pretty quick here. And then I'm going to post the video. Get ready to go. And I'll see you guys next week. But how do you calculate position size if price is moving fast? Do it faster, dude. Okay, you want to see? Let's do it. Let's do an example here. This is probably the fastest moving pair right now. Let's say that we're on the 1 minute. Actually, it's slowing down, but let's say we're on the 1 minute and we're like, oh shit, we want to take a long here right now, really quickly. Okay, boom, place the position. Boom, place wherever it wants to go, do that, whatever. You look at this, 0.06, let's say I have $1,000. 1,000 times 2%, boom, divided by 0.06, boom. That's how much I want to bet. 0.33 lot. And then you go to your MetaTrader 4, you type in 0.33, blah, 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 and you're good. Takes you 10 seconds. Drop a like for good luck. Enjoy your camping. Hey, thanks, man. Does the market always have to retest the level? No, it doesn't have to do anything. But it likes to. Because the logic... See, this is the level that it retested. The logic is that this was a range of traders trading in that range, right? And then it moved away from those traders. So there's still traders wanting to sell that level, right? And then on top of that, you see an obvious point where people are now adding as a SR flip, right? So you have range traders inside of it, and then you have SR flip traders being added to it, right? So when it comes back up, you know there's resting orders there. This was stupid for me to put my stop there, wasn't it? Oh shit. Duh. That's fine. There was only a little bit, but that's fine. This could come down a bit more. Hit the like button if you want to go camping. I'll bring you guys along with the camera a little bit. We're gonna do a bunch of shrooms. I picked up a pound of shrooms. I picked up a pound. The bag is like it's one of those giant freezer bags. It's like half the size of my backpack. How do I set up session times? You go to the indicators here, dude. Session, I do this one. Session London, New York, Asian. I do that one. Do I consider scalping profitable? Yeah, not for me though. I suck at scalping. Dude, I love shrooms. Before the shrooms, take a look at pound odd. Shrooms are becoming like my favorite. Oh my god. Oh shit. Shrooms are becoming like my favorite thing to take. I did a Jedi flip. We already looked at pound JPY. I did a Jedi flip the other weekend. It's acid and shrooms together, and like everything became cartoons, like looked like The Simpsons, and I saw like how a fly would see, where they see like everything over and over, like an X. It was kind of cool. It's a good experience. And then you think about like a lot of like meaningful stuff, and it changes your perspective, so I really like it. This looks good, guys. This is the kind of trade that I would want to be in. Pound odd. Pound Swiss, pound odd, pound JPY. I've literally told you guys all today that these will go down. Right? See those range highs? Breaking the high, and then breaking the structure back down here. Oops. Breaking the structure, right? So what's it gonna do? You wait for the pullback. This is the thing though, I would hate to enter this trade today. I mean, you guys can, maybe it might work, but this would be the trade, right? $2R. That'd be the trade. Most likely it'll actually sweep these lows too, because we got a bunch of tests of this level. It'll just go a bit lower and then it'll range back up. Most likely that's what it's going to do. No, you don't need TV Pro to get session times. You need it for the dual monitor though. I don't invest in the stock market. I think I have some oil or something. I don't know. I don't know what I have. Honeycomb pattern. Yeah, the honeycomb patterns, man. It was cool. It didn't last for a whole long time, but do I trade price action? Of course, man. That's what I do. That's what I teach. When is Trump? When is Trump speaking? Because that might be a good time to actually get out of some trades. If you're in a dollar trade. We already looked at EG. I think it's done. It's done its rally. I think it'll come up here or here. Because it's got to eat those tops. I told you guys this like 10 minutes ago. What? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 30 minutes ago maybe? 25 minutes ago? I don't know. And it'll dump down. I think it's done its rally. It's going to come down. And I think it's going to come down to here and here. What's the most percent I risked on a trade? 100%. But like, what's the most percent that I do risk on a trade now? 1. I will never go above 1%. We already looked at gold, dude. Price action trading is just looking at candlesticks and the structure of the market. It's not using any indicators. When price gets to a resistance support, should we look at reversal signals at the LTM? Like doji, hammer, shooting stars. I don't use individual candles as a strong indication for anything to happen. They do signify some things, but I look at the structure of the market and how the shape is playing out rather than an individual candle. Individual candles don't really mean anything. Don't get arrested with the shrooms. Shrooms are like, they're okay here. Nobody cares. Mind you, that amount, I might get arrested. If you want to start trading, man, learn the basics and then start watching my videos. Alright, guys. How can I improve Mamba FX? Mamba FX strat. Okay, so if I remember correctly, let's say let's maybe get onto a cleaner chart. Actually, this one might have been fine. No, wait, which one? No, I don't want to look at. Oh, I don't want to look at that one. Okay. Oh, this one looks bearish too, doesn't it? Look at that. Trying to remember his strategy. He did like SR flips. So, this is the thing that he did. He's like, okay, draw a trend line. Okay, it's going down, right? Okay, good, right? The trend line is meaningless. He basically said it was going down. So look to see if it's going down, right? And if you want, you got to look at the actual structure of it, not just like if it's going down. Look to make sure that the candles are actually closing below the lows, right? And then when it comes back up for a SR flip, let's do a SR flip here. So this is what he was saying, right? You see this base being broken, right? And then it breaks back below. We want to enter in on one of these rallies to enter back short, right? So the thing that you can do is, first of all, draw untested levels, right, that it could come back up to. This one here, I would define that as tested. It's good enough, right? That's tested. Let's look at here. this is essentially an untested area, right? Because it came back down after a major move. That's what broke it down. So most likely it's going to reject in that area, right? And then what do we do? Let's look at the 15 minute maybe and go all the way over there. We watch that area. Comes back up here, right? It pretty much perfectly hits an untested area right here too if I just draw that. Just a little bit short, but you can see. And then once we're actually in that area, we look for the structure of the market to be broken back to the other side. You can even watch the 5 minute if you want, but this break back down, then we can say, all right, I'm willing to get short now, right? So this is where you would get short. You'd put your stops if you wanted, even here or here. You know, you can choose. Depends how risk adverse you are. And then target some sort of target that makes sense, right? So this was a previous level. Maybe I drew out that level or something. That's not a very good target. Right here is a level, right? Just roughly figure out possible targets of untested areas, highs and lows, things like that, and that would have been your target. There you go. 3-hour trade. Boom. Just one up to Mamba FX, I think you called him. That's how you should actually do SR flips. That's how you should actually do them. You don't. He was basically saying I'm going to enter at the very top perfectly and then put your stop here, and it's just not possible. Or he was not looking at the lower time frame and he was just saying, okay, when does it reject? And that would have been, your confirmation of rejection would have been up here, right? So now you have a much worse trade. 1.7 versus 3.3, right? Just joined the live streaming. You just joined at the perfect time to see me go, man. What are some good gurus to watch? I don't know if you call them gurus, but I would watch institutional trader type people. ICT, Chris Laurie, Sam Sedin. I would watch No Nonsense because he's a smart guy. I wouldn't follow his actual strategy personally because it's indicator based, and I don't like that. It makes it very difficult for me to trade. Who else? I don't know. As for like flashy YouTubers such as myself that are good at advertising, I know Steven Ducks. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to him either. Any like flashy YouTubers, I wouldn't listen to. Generally, that basically includes kind of how I act, right? Because a lot of the stuff I do is, you know, I'm doing it for, you know, views, right? I'm making educational, I'm not making entertaining content, right? I'm making like funny shit. So you gotta really judge those people a lot harder, right? If somebody is just like core knowledge and there's no entertainment, they more likely know what they're doing, maybe, but I don't know, really. That's just kind of the vibe I've gotten. Like the really boring guys, the really boring guys, those are the good guys. And that was my whole goal, is to try to make something that's actually exciting to watch, by using the same logic that these boring guys use, right? So a lot of my stuff is very similar to these boring guys, because that's partially where I learned some of the ideas, right? Yeah. Alright, you guys are just listing a bunch of gurus. Every single one that you said, I'm I would be wary of. And you know, they're not like the best traders, at least, right? The best traders are the ones that are boring, like ICT, right? He makes boring videos. Chris Lowry, Sam Sedin, these guys, right? These guys are the best. Do I watch Stacy Burke? No, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Wicks Don't Lie either. I should. People keep mentioning him. I pretty much guarantee, like, anybody you say, my answer would be the same. Is I don't really know them because it's hard for me to watch a lot of these guys' stuff. Because a lot of it is just the same stuff that everybody else teaches that doesn't actually do anything for you. It seems like it's good at first, but then it doesn't actually work for you in the long term. That's just... But a lot of them I could be wrong. You know, a lot of them could be good. Anyone who flips their account is not an actual trader. Anyone who claims that they can double your account in or more that in like a month or less is not an actual trader, unless it was just like for lulz, right? Alright, guys. How do they flip accounts to $100,000? They don't. It's fake, dude. It's fake. It's not real. What's up, Ron Jenkins? Thanks for the donation. Oh, that's a cool photo, too. Carrying a big sack of money. Alright. So, he says, do you use divergences to indicate a possible reversal before looking at support resistance zones? So, I don't use divergences, man. I use break of market structure. So I look at slowing down structure, right? So really a divergence is basically just the price action slowing down and then breaking back into back the other trend, right? So if you're breaking down the market structure, you're breaking the levels that brought us to the high, then you're really going to see things slowing down. When you see really momentum moves, that's going to be really powerful, and there's no divergence, obviously, right? But divergences are basically just illustrating all of that movement in one line. So when you see the higher high, this is probably a divergence here, honestly. When you're seeing a higher high, but it's not really making a higher high, it's just kind of wicking up, and then it's breaking back down below this. This is a divergence. I can guarantee that that's a divergence on RSI. But this is the kind of stuff I would look for, right? And then so you say, do you use divergences to indicate a possible reversal before looking at SR? Yeah, so I use, you know, divergences, the way I define them here, as my entries. And then I use SR zones for a possible target, or where I'm looking to see these divergences, right? And then what was the second part of your question? How do you know which pairs to look at for the session? Well, right now I'm basically just looking at a couple, just because I really want to focus on those pairs. But if I were to scan through the market like I used to do, there's certain pairs that always seem to have good price action that are basically, I'm looking for a nice trend, and I'm looking for things to just keep retesting the previous untested zones. So I don't like the price action of EU this week. This is the worst, because it's trending really hard, but it's not actually coming into zones and retesting things properly. It's just rallying aggressively, and there's no entry possibilities. Or it's doing like bullshit where it just wicks around, right? Like here, it just wicked around, and those are the ones that I'm going to skip. Or I'd be looking for things that are reaching a level of interest, so I can watch to see how they react on that level, right? So if there's a major time frame level, right? So on here, we're looking for this. So I want to watch EU now because it's getting into a high time frame level that I want to watch to see what happens. All right, guys. I think that's a good place to stop. Appreciate the donation, Ron. I'll talk to you guys next week.